happening, Magnus sites? Cosmic Wonder, what you got for me, man? Make sure y'all get over there and subscribe to Cosmic Wonder. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. You'll be having some good news and plot leaks and plot details and all types of good shit. And spoilers and Easter eggs and breakdowns. He does his thing over there. Let's check this out.
What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, and today we actually have quite a bit of information about Spider-Man No Way Home, specifically involving Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, when they are going to be appearing in the film, and what type of role they are going to have in the film. Also, a bit of information about what the villains are going to look like, and a little bit more information about that trailer. And the great thing is that all of these reports today are coming from very legitimate sources. So today we're not talking about wild and crazy rumors, we're talking about stuff that is actually going to happen in the movie. And I think some fans might not particularly enjoy this report, especially if you are a Tom Holland Spider-Man fan. If he is your favorite, you may not like this report. However, if you are a Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fan, then you probably will like this report. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with Spider-Man No Way Home, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. I have clearly been doing a lot of Spider-Man videos lately, but with all the leaks coming out, it's a ton of fun. So let's go on with this first report, and this first report is coming from Daniel Richmond, or Daniel RBK, depending how you know him. For those of you who may not know Daniel, he's an insider. His reports on when to expect trailers are insanely accurate, and he's had a lot of inside scoops confirmed over time, and today he has a report for us, or at least we're getting one from something that he said. So originally, there were reports going around, and I don't remember from whom because they weren't confirmed, but there were reports going around that stated that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man were going to be appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home towards the end, in the third act. This is something that seemed pretty believable at the time. After all, it's really Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie, or at least it was, so it would make sense that he would get most of the spotlight for most of the film. So nobody really questioned this. However, there are conflicting reports today, and these are more likely going to happen. And this is kind of a two-part report. The first part is when Daniel replied to a tweet on Twitter. Somebody asked him if Tobey is a supporting role or a action cameo, and his reply was, "I heard that from the moment they appear in the movie, Tobey and Andrew become co-leads to Holland." Now, this is the report that I was talking about in the beginning, where I stated some people may not like this, especially if you are a Tom Holland fan. A lot of people were kind of upset with the Doctor Strange announcement when they stated that Doctor Strange was going to be appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home as sort of a mentor for Peter Parker. A lot of people were pretty upset about this because they want Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be on his own. In Spider-Man Homecoming, he had Tony Stark. In Civil War, Avengers Endgame, and Avengers Infinity War, again, he had Tony Stark, even though he saved Tony's life at one point in Endgame. And then in Spider-Man Far From Home, he had another mentor, and that mentor was really happy. Mysterio faked it for a while, and Peter was pretty happy to have him as a mentor, but of course we know how that played out. But Happy brought the plane, brought the new suits, gave him the pep talk, and that was fine, because that was a little bit less mentorship than he had in the previous film, and fans really wanted to see Spider-Man go out on his own in Spider-Man No Way Home, but it doesn't appear that's going to be the case. Now it looks like he's not only going to have Doctor Strange, but also Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man as well, fighting right beside him. However, don't get too upset about this yet, because if we think about this, it kind of makes sense if we consider what the movie is really going to be about and where the villains are coming from. The movie is really about the multiverse. There's going to be a multiversal problem, right? There will be villains coming into the main universe from other different universes. And some of these villains are going to be a little bit more beyond our Peter Parker, a little bit more for him to handle. And if you consider the fact that there are going to be like 6, 7 villains in this film, essentially the Sinister Six, he's going to need some help. Our Peter has come a long way, but he is definitely going to need some help to take on 6 or 7 villains alone. And it sounds like that could happen pretty soon, because the second half of this report is replying to Daniel stating that Andrew and Tobey are going to be co-leads. A person then said, "Awesome, I hope they come halfway through instead of the end." In which Daniel replied, "They are." So Tobey and Andrew are seemingly going to appear halfway through the film, which would make sense as far as the movie is concerned. If you're going to have a bunch of villains breaking out from the multiverse, it would make sense that the other heroes come at the same time. And from this moment, where all of the villains come from different universes and we get Tobey and Andrew, this is really where Doctor Strange's role comes in. Obviously, Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, is going to be dealing with the Multiverse in Madness, which is seemingly going to start in Loki. And keep in mind, Michael Waldron, who wrote Loki and Doctor Strange 2, told me personally when I interviewed him that there are some things in Loki that will affect Doctor Strange 2, which of course will in turn affect Spider-Man No Way Home. So at the center of it all, at the center of the multiverse exploding, Doctor Strange is there. And his focus in Spider-Man No Way Home is probably going to be figuring out how to get these villains back. So I wouldn't expect to see a ton of him. Most of the focus should be on Tom Holland at first, a little bit of Doctor Strange, and then on the 3 Spider-Men. While cutting back to Doctor Strange every now and then, seeing how closing that multiversal portal is going. And who knows, Doctor Strange may even bring in the other Spider-Man himself to help our Peter Parker. That may be something we never figure out until the movie comes out, but of course, if I hear anything, I'll update you. And as far as the villains are concerned, Daniel did put out another reminder in a tweet that the Green Goblin is going to be the main villain of the film. And speaking of villains, it looks like we got a little bit more info today on what they're going to look like. And this report is coming from superhero theorist at Murphy'sMultiverse.com. And the people over there have come in with some pretty clutch leaks lately, specifically superhero theorist. And we got some information from them replying to a tweet that said, "All I want is a more accurate looking Goblin, not that Power Ranger BS we got from the first film." In which superhero theorist replied, "Expect the old but prepare for the new. The fashion for the winter collection is going to be lovely this year. Purple hoods and green outfits, yellow shirts and green jackets, purple pants and lab coats, green shirts and khakis, and trench coats with tentacles will all be in season." Now, obviously, this is a description of what some of the villains are going to look like, but I want to specifically focus on the Green Goblin because it looks like there's going to be a key difference between the Green Goblin we see in this film and what we saw before in the past. The description for the Green Goblin is purple hoods and green outfits. Now, the purple hood implies that the Green Goblin is not going to have a helmet or a mask. In fact, in another tweet, superhero theorist said, "One of the things that scared me as a kid with Defoe's Green Goblin was that we never actually saw his face when he was Green Goblin, except for a few times, and he was able to strike fear with just his voice alone. Imagine what he'll look like now when he doesn't have the mask." Now, at one point in time, there were reports stating that the villains were going to be taken from their respective universes right before they die. And if this is true, that means the Green Goblin did not have a mask on right before he died in the very first Spider-Man film. Now, it's not confirmed if that is indeed when the villains are going to be taken from their universes, but if it is true, that would explain why the Green Goblin has no mask, and he apparently is going to be wearing a purple hood. And I personally am really looking forward to seeing this and the other villains and what little twists they give them. Now, of course, as I said, there has been a little bit of a trailer update, and I wouldn't leave you without talking about that. Now, this report comes from, again, Daniel Richmond, and he is extremely accurate when it comes to trailers. And yesterday on Twitter, he said, "To be clear, I usually hear a few days before, nothing yet. So, likely not dropping this week, and was told not to expect it anytime soon." Now, immediately when I read this tweet, I checked with my trailer guy, who is usually very accurate about when trailers are dropping as well. He was accurate about Shang-Chi, The Eternals, etc. And this person basically stated the same thing. "Haven't heard anything yet, and if it was coming out soon, I would have." So, sadly, I wouldn't expect it soon. Now, I have heard reports stating that it could be coming with Black Widow, but I personally actually think that they would wait until Loki is over with before releasing the trailer, because I think the ending is really going to set up the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Verse. And again, Daniel's very accurate with trailer releases, and my guy said the same thing. So at this point in time, I'm not expecting it with Black Widow, but we'll have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts on these reports in the comments down below. Are you happy or mad about this report that states Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are not mad at all and coming in about halfway through the film? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man or MCU videos. For live updates, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
Not mad at all. I am really happy. They come halfway through the film, I am ready. I liked all three. I like all three Spider-Man. So it's going to be great to see them all together, kicking ass, helping each other out. I can't wait. I expect one of them to get killed. Although I hope none of them get killed. If they don't kill one of them, do it later in another movie or something like that. But I'm expecting one of them to get killed. and most likely Tobey. And I think this is going to be badass. I really do. I really do. So hopefully I'm not wrong. Hopefully they put out a movie that's long enough to not make it feel like everybody's shoehorned in. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to have something good going here. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think, though. And if you enjoyed my reaction, of course, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!